out of Buffalo now, out of Tonawanda, named Joe Macy, who came within a whisker of being here.
I tell you, he should be here. I saw the fight, and I thought he should have licked that guy. I think he's got nothing to be ashamed of. After all, he fought the guy that he beat him once, I know. And he should have beat him again. But, you know, say like here, life goes on. I think Joe Macy will be something to deal with in the professional ranks.
Is he a guy that you think you might have a shot at, or do you know? He hasn't turned pro yet.
But I think so. I mean, he's a big guy, and I know Clay Bay's a big guy, so I know Joe must be a big guy. And, you know, his movement was better than Clay Bay's. Got good balance for a big guy. I saw the fight. I was impressed. In fact, I got a little on Joe. I said, Joe, come on. You know, kick it in, because, you know, everything ends in the valve is great with me because he's Italian.
Dundee isn't the only promoter manager after Macy, who narrowly missed being in the Olympics after losing in the finals of the trials to Lawrence Claybay, who incidentally is the gold medal favorite. But Macy could do worse than Angelo Dundee.
And we're excited to say that'll be back.
All right, Ron, thank you very much, and welcome to the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. The struggle continues for the Canadian women's volleyball team, and now we'll see if Phil Boudreault can help improve the fortunes of Canada's boxing team in these games. Canada 1-6 so far, so now it's on the shoulders of Sudbury's Phil Boudreault to bring Canada its second victory. This will be the biggest fight of his amateur career. The opponent is Haji Matumla of Tanzania. He's a quality boxer. In his second Olympics, finished 5th in Barcelona, currently 14th ranked in the world. But Russ, we know one thing for sure. Phil Boudreault is ready.
He's ready, and he's going to give you action from both sides, whatever happens in this bout. Matumla's a big puncher, though, and he likes to go for the right hand, and you saw he came right out and threw it right away.
Boudreaux's got that boxing gift, the ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw, the only one on the Canadian team who can do it well, but timing is everything, and he's got to be careful. But a year ago, he was caught by American Fernando Vargas in the quarterfinals of the Pan Ams while he was switching, and Vargas tagged him with a knockout punch.
He's learned from that experience. He's smoother now with it, and, you know, everybody can have an off night. And you're going to see Phil give you some good moves. He likes to move that upper body, and most of the time, 99% of the time, he throws combinations. Always lets his hand go in flurries, and he tries to come back and finish with the lead hand, which means if he's a right-hander, he tries to finish with the left hand. If he's standing southpaw, he'll finish with the right.
Phil Boudreault of Sudbury, Ontario, 20 years old in the red. Haji Matumla of Tanzania in the blue. And for those who have been following Olympic boxing, we remind you the scoreboard, bottom left-hand portion of your screen, always has the boxer in red on top, the one in blue on the bottom.
There goes Boudreault to the southpaw stance. He's got to be careful with the southpaw stance with Matumla, because Matumla likes to look for the right hand. He's already gotten his first scoring point off the right hand, and when Phil goes southpaw, he's susceptible to a right hand, so he's got to be very careful when he does that. The advantage being going southpaw is to confuse Matumla. Now he's back to right hand, and he gets hit with the right hand again. Goes back to the right-handed stance and got hit with the right hand.
Boudreault got a real wake-up call when he lost his Canadian championship in Brampton last December. Since then, he hasn't lost a key fight. Won the elimination tournament to get to the Olympic box office in Thunder Bay, where he beat the champion twice, then won 3 straight at the Olympic qualifier in Puerto Rico to earn the trip here.
Good left hook from Boudreault. You see the flurries from Phil Boudreault. He's without a doubt being the busier fighter there, but it's got to hit the target. He's trailing by 1 now. Uses good movement. He's pretty good with the system, with the computer scoring system. Knows when to get in and out of range to score the flurries and then leave.
An exchange of points now. Boudreault still trailing by 1, 3-2 the count with a minute to go in the first round.
There's the combinations. Now you see Matumla's looking for the one shot. He's taking the shots Boudreaux's throwing, and he's looking to come back with the one shot.
But you're right, Russ. Phil Boudreault has thrown many more punches than Matumla in this first round.
What I'd like to see Phil doing is, after he throws them flurries, is just drop his knees a little bit, get that head out of the way, because it's sitting up there kind of straight, and whatever Matumla throws, even when he's getting hit, he's hitting the target. Phil's just got to make that split-second move to get his head out of the way just a little bit quicker. Good right hand again from Matumla.
That brings up another point, so now he leads by 2.
Straight right scores from Phil Boudreault.
Boudreault staying with the Tanzanian, and now he's got the bout tied at 5. Good action from Phil Boudreault here.
That's where combinations start to pay off. Sometimes early in the bout it doesn't seem that way, but as he keeps working and throwing the combinations, the guy who's throwing the more punches, law of averages says he's going to get the more points.
So a flurry by Phil Boudreault late in round number 1 has him on even terms in this bout.
Good jab. There's Matumla with the right hand and finishes with the left hook. Moves Phil back. Phil comes right back, tucks inside. That's what I want to see more from Phil, is get that head out of the way. Drop it low. Drop it under the offensive zone of Matumla instead of leaving it up there like that. See the way Matumla gets under it?
A couple of days ago, Russ, we saw Phil at Evander Holyfield's gym, and I said, what's new? And he said, well, I just bought a new Harley, and I got 2 new tattoos. He's got a lion skull on his left foot, dragon head on his right, to go with the other pieces of artwork on his body. You can see one there on his shoulder. He's got pugilist tattooed on his left arm. I said, were your parents upset when they saw that? And he said, no, not really, but when they saw this one, they were a little bit upset. And he pulled up his shirt, and he's got the word crazy tattooed right across his midsection. That's been a big hit with all the other boxers here in Atlanta. All right, we're set for the second round of this light welterweight preliminary bout. Canada's Phil Boudreault tied at 5 with Haji Matumla of Tanzania. Second round underway. That's Boudreault of Sudbury, Ontario in the red, Matumla in the blue. Phil Boudreault out of the Top Glove Boxing Academy in Sudbury, where he's coached by Gord Apolloni, who was an assistant coach on the Canadian team, and in Phil Boudreaux's corner today.
Matumla banking a lot on that right hand. That's the shot he's looking for, is to land that right hand, and every one of his 6 points that he has scored has been off that right hand.
Under the category of international experience, Matumla probably has a whole lot more. 6 years on his national team, and as we mentioned earlier, one of the world's ranked fighters, 14th in this division.
Phil's got, I mean, you could just see Phil's got the nice skills. He moves nice, good balance, lets the hands go in flurries.
And Russ, if Matumla is world class, then Phil Boudreault is proving to be exactly that himself.
Oh, without a doubt. And, all the Canadians here are world class. We know they haven't had the great draw. We've harped on that before. But there's not one fight in which they have been totally outclassed or outgunned or looked like they didn't deserve to be here. They've left everything in that ring. Nice upper body movement from Phil Boudreault. Moves away, gets out of punching range of Matumla. Matumla's finding it frustrating that he's hit Boudreault with some good shots, and Boudreaux's still there throwing the flurries.
He's been the aggressor throughout. Throwing many more punches than Matumla. He's got 6 scoring blows, but so does Matumla. Now Boudreault with the go-ahead point. Nice display of boxing here by Phil Boudreault, Russ.
Nice display, and again Matumla evens it up courtesy of that right hand over the top. He's just getting that head down, keeping his head out of scoring range, and winging that right hand over the top, and it's finding its mark. There goes Boudreault to the southpaw stance. This looks better for him, staying southpaw. Matumla seems to be confused when Boudreault goes into the southpaw stance. He's reaching with that right hand, and Boudreaux's able to counterpunch and get out of the way.
I think in this case, the computer score is an accurate reflection of how this bout has gone. These are 2 evenly matched fighters.
Very evenly matched. You got the boxing skills of Phil Boudreault versus the power punching of Matumla with the right hand. There he tries it again. This little step over, nice little move by Matumla as he stepped over to the right and threw the right hand.
Final 20 seconds of round number 2. It's the boxer against the power puncher, and so far the boxer holding his own, in fact leading by a single point. Boxer
Good
is
left
Phil
hook.
Boudreault of Sudbury. Left hook lands. 2-point lead now for Boudreault. Make it 3.
Make it 4. Good flurry from Phil Boudreault. He'll need that little cushion going into the third round. Good
He came on
round from Phil
strong, Russ,
Boudreault.
late in round number 1, again late in round number 2. There's Gord Apolloni and Yvonne Michel in Boudreaux's corner. Let's see if we can hear some of this. Not sure what they were saying to him, Russ, but here's a sample of some nice defense by Boudreault in the second round.
Gord Apolloni got upset with him at the end of the round. He was taking his time walking back to the corner, trying to look around for his teammates to see if he could get the score of whether he was leading or not. There's a good left hook. And Gordy got upset, said, let me worry about that. Sit down. but that's a good lead. I mean, that's a 4-point round for him, a 4-point difference that he took, a clean win of the second round for Phil Boudreault.
Yeah, decisive in the second round, but most of his points came in the last 20 seconds.
When he threw a consistent flurries, and not only was he throwing the combinations, but then he would jump on a second attack after one set of combinations without giving Matumla a chance to fire back. He'd throw the combination again.
3 minutes separating Phil Boudreault from his first win at these Olympic Games and Canada's second in this boxing tournament. The opponent is Haji Matumla of Tanzania. Matumla in the blue, Boudreault of Sudbury, Ontario in the red. 4-point cushion for Phil Boudreault as the third round begins. He was by far the more active boxer in rounds 1 and 2. We'll see what he does now in round 3. What might the instructions have been, Russ?
Well, I would say do what you were doing that got you the 4-point lead, and that's throw the combinations, and then before Matumla has a chance to throw again, put on a second attack before the puncher has a chance to get set. Every time he has moved Matumla back with a flurry of punches and then jumped on him again, Matumla hasn't been able to do anything. A puncher usually has to be coming forward and being the aggressor to be effective. If you can move the puncher back and he's not set, you can score some blows and keep him off balance.
Phil Boudreaux's nickname is Bad Boy for reasons that are behind him. He's got a 2.5-year-old daughter, Chanel, his father, Richard, here to watch his son box today. I have really been impressed with the display put on by Phil Boudreault. His conditioning is superb, and his boxing skills are certainly up to snuff.
Well, I'm glad you've been impressed, but I'm not surprised in any way. This is exactly what we expected from Phil Boudreault. I told you from the outset that we were going to see flash, and you were going to get combinations, and you were going to get punches from both sides, and that's exactly what he's delivering, because that's what Phil Boudreault is.
But there are 1 minute and 30 seconds to go on round number 3. The lead is 3. Now, Boudreault almost certainly was told when he headed back to his corner that he led by 3 points.
Keep moving Matumla back and crowd him on the inside. That's going to be the key right now with less than a minute and a half to go in the round. If he starts giving Matumla range to wind up with that big right hand, he's going to be giving away free points. Stay close to him. Tuck up on the inside and close down that scoring target, where, as we've seen, the judges are not scoring any infighting because they don't consider the blows to be forceful enough. Stay close to him. Don't give him that scoring target.
Only scoring blow to this point in the third round has gone to Phil Boudreault, and now his lead is 4. I mentioned that Haji Matumla of Tanzania has credentials. He won silver at the Commonwealth Games in Auckland in 1990, 6 years ago. Then he got 5th at the Barcelona Olympics. Last year he won gold at the All-African Games. He knows now he's in against a tough customer.
Now he's confused with Phil. Every time Phil has gone to the southpaw stance, Matumla doesn't know what to do. He starts bouncing around, not sure of which way he should go, what punches he should throw, because every time he commits himself, Phil nails him. Good flurry. Now he's got to jump on him again.
The right brings Phil Boudreault a 14-10 lead. Now the gap is 5. Phil Boudreault starting to pull away. Less than 30 seconds to go.
That's where you want to be.
A problem for him to win now.
Right there. That's where he wants to be. Stay right close to Matumla. Get chest to chest with him. Good, smart boxing from Phil, and the crowd is acknowledging it. They like the flash. They like the speed from Phil Boudreault, and rightfully so, Scott.
Final seconds of round 3. He's not offering Haji Matumla any sort of a target. They mix it up in the corner now, but that will do it, and Phil Boudreault has won.
He's got it.
Oh, yes, Canada gets his second boxing victory at these Olympic Games. Great display by Phil Boudreault of Sudbury, Ontario. Full value for the victory. There are his teammates, Mike Strange, the only other Canadian to win thus far in the boxing tournament, waving the flag. He'll box on Friday afternoon against an Armenian opponent in the round of 16, and Phil Boudreault is also going on to the round of 16.
And let's take a look at this here. There's the good straight left hand from Phil. Finishes with the right hook. Like I said, he always finishes with the lead hand. And that's what the key was there. Closing down that defense where Matumla couldn't do any damage. And if back home you're cheering by province, that's 2 for Ontario.
We know they're cheering in Sudbury, Ontario today as Boudreault comes through with the victory. We're never sure what to expect when he, or any Canadian for that matter, faces a world-ranked fighter. They haven't had much luck against him in these Olympic Games, but Phil Boudreault was far better than the 14th ranked fighter in the world in this bout, and as a result he wins it.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your winner by a close score of 16-12 out of the red corner,
Boudreault confirmed as the winner at 63.5 kilograms, 140 pounds, the light welterweight division.
Didn't work for you today. What did you think about the bout?
I thought it was a good bout. I knew it was going to be a hard bout because 1992 Olympic Games he came fifth, and he's been African champion for years. He thought he was the same guy Mike Strange fought, but it was his younger brother. I knew this guy was strong, and I knew I had to be on my best day to beat him. I mean, fifth in the 92 Olympics is not shabby. I took him out first fight, so I'm really happy.
Nice, smooth display of boxing. Just stick to the game plan.
Yeah, I was stuck to the game plan. I had him hurt a couple times with my right hand, but I tried to finish with my left foot because my right hand's not 100% right now. I wish it was, and pretty sure I could take him out. Like I said, he was a hell of a fighter, and it was a good fight. And I told my daughter Chanel at home that I don't know. Go ahead, talk to her.
Congratulations, Phil. Gord, did the fighter follow the plan?
He did. Tuati in the third round we were a little bit worried, but Phil came back. We were down a little bit, but Phil came back, as he always does, and he rose to the top.
Hey, let's see the artwork on the one side, pugilist.
Yeah.
You think that frightened him when he saw it?
I'm not sure it frightened him. I know I was nervous. I mean, this morning I ate breakfast. You can ask Gordy. I threw my guts up, and I couldn't stop puking this morning.
Well, you still need problem making weight. That's one way to look at it.
This is the things a fighter has to go through, and it's a lot of pressure for a 20-year-old to handle, but I think I handled it well. And
I feel you came through in fine style today. What's it do for your confidence to beat a world-ranked fighter heading into the round of 16?
Well, it does, a lot for my confidence. I'm fighting the Russian champion.
Zakharov.
He's a real good fighter, and it's going to be the same kind of fight, and I have to come over on top of that one, too.
All right, good luck. And everybody else has saved the cost of a phone call so far, so say hello to the folks in Sudbury.
All right, say hi to all the guys at Canadian Red Dragon, and my daughter Chanel especially, and my girlfriend Maxine, and I'm resting my phone.
Congratulations, Phil. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Chanel, you're one special. A bit of a slump, 1 for 6 heading into this day, but then Phil Boudreault delivered in fine style, Russ, as he dispatched a world-ranked fighter in the Tanzanian. What'd you think of his performance? What'd you like best about it?
Well, it was great. I mean, he did everything we predicted in the opening, was that he was going to throw combinations, he was going to use movement, he was going to switch from right-handed to southpaw stance, but I think the key was what he did just at the very end of the second round. He threw a flurry of punches and then jumped on a second attack and threw another flurry. That's when he took the 4-point lead, and from there he never looked back.
Yeah, the flurry seemed to be paying off on the computer in this boxing tournament. Next up for Canada is Troy Ross of Brampton, Ontario. Here is a fighter who packs some power.